I can't imagine. I'm sure that this was crystallized to you of what it was doing to the game, and you had guys who were doing things they shouldn't have been doing, getting records being honored. But here's Hank Aaron, who to me is one of the true dignitaries and one of the most underrated players in the history of the game. When you had to honor, if you want to use that word, Barry Bonds for being the all-time home run king, if that doesn't hit home to you, I don't know if anything else in that steroid era would have hit home. How did that feel?
Well, it says it in the early part of the book. It didn't feel good at all. It's one of the most difficult. I know I had to go, and you know that Hank Aaron and I have been really close friends for 62 years now. In fact, I saw him in Atlanta last week, and we sat and talked about some of this stuff, as we always do. But how did it feel? Not very good.
How did Hank feel about Bonds breaking that record?
Like he always does. He accepted it. He didn't say much. He was quiet. He and I talked about it when the Giants called me and asked for Hank to cut a video when Barry, he didn't want to do it. But he and I talked about it, and it's a fact. He would tell you if he was on the show. I said, Henry, in your entire life, since I've known you, it goes back to 1958, you've always done the right thing. Just cut something. And he did, and it was really good. And I'm glad he did it.
I want you to be a baseball fan, not a commissioner.
Yeah.
Will you allow me to ask you questions based on you just being a baseball fan, not a commissioner?
I will. Yeah, absolutely.
Who do you consider the all-time home run king?
Well, I've never really answered that, but I will say this to you. In my mind, even though Bonds holds the record, and I've said records are records, I think you know how I feel about Henry Aaron.
So Henry Aaron's the all-time home run king, in your opinion?
Yes.
Would you vote for Barry Bonds as a fan?
That's the one I will not answer, because what I've said is I did everything I could do. I pushed. Remember this, Dan, and I don't have to tell you this. Baseball not only didn't have a drug testing program, we went through the cocaine era. Serious problem, Dan. In the 80s, Pittsburgh drug trial, 29 guys get convicted, 4 go to jail, and they couldn't get a drug program.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of where we are, but I'm going to let the writers decide that. They can decide that.
Yeah, but as a baseball fan, Barry Bonds shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame then if he cheated. I mean, if you feel like Hank Aaron's...
You're a fan, and you're entitled to that opinion, and I understand that.
Same with Roger Clemens? You don't want to answer...
I don't want to answer.
Yeah.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.